Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sunglass Chef. Today I've got an American treat, a dessert that's loved by many, cupcakes. This will be vanilla cupcakes with strawberry buttery icing. It's a crowd favorite. Have you ever frowned and said cupcake? It's impossible. Cupcakes bring smiles to everyone, young and old. For this recipe, here's what you'll need. Baking powder, buttermilk. This is our secret weapon and is responsible for making a very moist, delicious cupcake. Strawberries, unbleached flour, no preservatives. 2 sticks of butter, this will be for our icing. Sugar, strawberry fruit spread, organic. Vanilla extract, powder sugar, butter for the cupcake, 2 eggs, Celtic sea salt. And now let's turn on our double boiler so that we can melt the butter, and we'll also turn on our oven to 375 degrees. Well, now that our butter has melted, let's transport the butter into a new bowl. Butter and buttermilk is what makes this recipe so unique and flavorful and moist. Some people will use vegetable oil, but I always prefer butter. It's really good for you anyway. We're now going to cream the butter. So we'll need our wet ingredients. And I'm going to go ahead and pour our buttermilk in here. We will need our sugar. When you're creaming the butter, it's always good to combine the eggs, the sugar, with the butter. Stir this up a little bit. Our room temperature eggs. Always use room temperature when baking cupcakes if possible. Alright, we're going to use a tablespoon of vanilla. And a drop more for good measure. I really like this Madagascar extract. When using extract, it's always best to use the real extract, pure extract versus imitation. Making cupcakes makes me so happy. I want to do the happy dance. Alright, now we're going to combine our dry ingredients. I'm going to set this to the side. And in this bowl, we're going to add our sifted all-purpose flour, unbleached. We're going to add half a teaspoon of salt. Next, baking powder, not to be confused with baking soda. For cupcakes and most cookie recipes, you're going to use baking powder, not baking soda. And by the way, baking powder does have baking soda in it, but baking soda is much stronger, so we don't want that. Baking powder is what we want. Now we're going to combine our wet ingredient with our dry. We don't want to overmix this, but we do want all the ingredients to merge together, to marry the ingredients. Well, now we've combined the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients to form this wonderful batter for the vanilla cupcakes. I like to let the batter sit and rest for about 10 minutes so that all the ingredients will marry together and marinate for a more flavorful cupcake before we scoop them out and put them in the baking cups, also known as cupcake liners. Now it's time to scoop our batter into our cupcake liners. I like to use an ice cream scoop for convenience and easy measurement. Also, I use unbleached baking cups. These are really good. We don't want any chemicals in our cupcakes. We just want to taste the delicious morsels without any chemicals. And I found that unbleached baking cups are best. And if you have any children or grandchildren, this is a fun way to bond with the kids and the family. And I encourage you all to let the kids try this recipe at home. I remember my kids were 5 and 7 years old the first time they made cupcakes, and they were super delicious. They did a really good job. Now it's time to put the cupcakes into the oven. The oven has been preheated to 375 degrees, and we're going to bake this for 14 minutes. Now it's time to make the delicious icing, buttery strawberry icing. We're going to need 1 cup of butter, and we're going to need 3/4 cup of strawberry fruit spread. I'm going to combine the fruit spread with the butter. As a side note, my family and I really like Cascadian Farm organic strawberry fruit spread. It's really delicious, and I encourage you all to try it. We're going to now add our powdered sugar. I have to use a spatula to scrape the side here. And we're going to add some pure vanilla extract. About 1/2 teaspoon. And that's it. This is how you make homemade buttery strawberry icing. And I'm going to refrigerate this for about 15 minutes before putting it on our cupcakes. There's about 6 minutes left on these cupcakes, and I'm going to rotate them so that there's even distribution of heat for all the cupcakes. Been 14 minutes, and now to get the cupcakes out of the oven. What a wonderful aroma! The smell of this vanilla is just perfect. Well, we're going to let the cupcakes cool for about 20 minutes before putting the buttery icing on top. Now that our cupcakes have cooled, we can now add the buttery icing on top. Now, one of the ways to cool baked goods is by using a cooling rack. This is a useful tool. I'm going to be using a pastry bag, a disposable pastry bag, and a pastry star to put the icing on the cupcakes. First, I'll need to cut the tip of the disposable bag. And now I'm going to use a spatula to put the icing in the bag. It's a little bit of a messy process, and that's okay, because sometimes cooking in the kitchen can be messy. and there's nothing wrong with that. All right. When you're placing icing on a cupcake, you want to start in the middle and work your way outward. So we'll start in the middle and work our way around. That's one. Start in the middle and work your way around. That's two. Start in the middle and work your way around. Start in the middle and work your way around. Middle. And now I'd like to place a garnish on top. What better garnish than a strawberry on top of a vanilla buttery icing strawberry cupcake. And there you have it. Look at this beautiful cupcake. This cupcake is so delicious. The flavor profile is sky high. It's super moist. It's a buttery icing filled with strawberry flavors. It's absolutely delicious. I feel like strawberries are bursting in my mouth. It is the best cupcake I've ever had.